So switching and taking a look at the next topic, let's look at the system management. And 3700 gives us the ability to manage our items in a convenient way, but it's done through a single threaded application here. So every user of the system, no matter how many different revenue centers and things that are defined, anyone who has access to the items within the system can edit items from anywhere within the organization. So there's no privacy of data between the different concepts, which also leaves the integrity of the data. You know, one site adds a cheeseburger, another site adds a cheeseburger, a third one does. Now I have 3 cheeseburgers in the system. It comes very messy pretty quickly if there isn't proper management in place with the 3700 application. Symphony combats that by a true enterprise approach. It uses a hierarchy to define the system parameters. From the top level, the enterprise, you can define definitions or parameters related to the system and push them down to individual locations and properties. Additionally, at those locations and properties where you're pushing that enterprise definition down to, if you enable the correct user access rights, admins of those locations can override those definitions and provide updated pricing and naming for their specific business needs. Lastly, is being able to separate the data between the different concepts. The enterprise approach also assists us with that, where at each one of these property definitions, I can create user access privileges so that only users of that particular location can edit and manipulate items. They wouldn't see all the other locations' items that are in use. Another huge influence in the hierarchy, as I mentioned, is the pricing of it, where I can take that item from the top and push it down to individual levels. In those levels, I still have the ability to update it at the property or revenue center areas. And that's true for kind of all the different parameters built into the system. So my screen configuration follows that same hierarchy. I can put effectivity rules in place so items appear when they need to within this hierarchy. So specials on Fridays at 4 p.m. as an example. But I'm able to control that structure. Additionally, within that, I can define zones. So if each property has a coffee shop and a cafeteria, I can zone all the cafeterias, all the coffee shops together for convenient menu item management. So even though they're in this structure, I zone them together. So if I make an increase into the price of a regular coffee, it does it across the board for all locations. It's not, I have to go in and update it for each location one at a time. And lastly, is just adding items to the system. So Symphony, again, provides additional functionality of a distribution concept where I can take records and information out of anywhere in the hierarchy and essentially copy that into something new. So from Revenue Center A, I can copy all items, pricing, and definitions into Revenue Center B or new concept, whatever it may be. Let's take a look at our last area, and that's going to be the reporting. So with 3700, there is some reporting challenges as well. Typically within the structure of how you get the reports. Today they're all accessed through a PC. They can be scheduled to print, but that's the limitation of the option. They're all printed out at once. And there's also very limited abilities in getting the data outside of just the reporting. So if you wanted to email or you want some custom, data export out of the system, there's some work involved to going about that process to get something set up in that fashion. Symphony, on the other hand, takes a much more advanced approach to it, and that's done through their reporting and analytics feature. This provides an executive dashboard of what the system actually looks like, or what the actual page looks like, and it allows you to customize that dashboard to all the feature sets that you're looking for from a high level as a user. It follows those data integrity rules that we set at the database level. So being able to understand that I only have access to my business practices, but getting data out of a system can never be more easy. I have a dashboard, I have standard reporting, I have the ability to export information out in standard files, as well as pull custom information in from an Excel format, and even having a mobile app to give me high level information on the fly in real time for my different business needs. So Symphony takes a much different approach in being able to give you all the feature sets that you're looking for when it comes to getting data out of your system. And hopefully today you can see that these four different areas are highly impactful between our two different pieces of software, whether we're looking at 3700 or Symphony. They all have their differences in operation. And Symphony is just providing a much more robust approach to being able to accommodate your business needs. Thanks for taking a few minutes to learn about the differences between 3700 and Symphony. This is Steve Weaver, and this has been To the Point.